Well, hello again, once more. This now will be my second final impressions video on another series that I ended watching also uh, yesterday. Um, I watched the series not in a straight way or in a marathon way. I was at some a couple of months ago. I did started to watch the series, and I did intended to kind of marathon it and then make some final impressions on the series. But then at that time, stuff happened. I got busy, and then I kind of the series kind of got into my watch list for future. But finally, yesterday I do finish off the series, and the series is called Sword Art Online. I remember when the series was airing. I do remember watching several reviewers talking about it, even in forums. They talked about the series. They talked about the light novel, the plot, the characters, and it was a series that was very hyped and had a great deal of followers and fans, and it was a hit. Basically, it was a hit. And at that time, I was doing other stuff, so I kind of relegate the series to watch it at a later phase. But since I did read that the series will have a second season, that is, I think it's planned to begin airing in the summer uh, season of this year 2014. I kind of decided, well, since I'm going, I will intend to watch the second series when it came out. I kind of decided go straight ahead and watch the remaining episodes of Sword Art Online. And I must say that I also became addicted. Yeah, addicted to the series of Sword Art Online, because the concept of the series is very interesting. Is also a series that works or with the concept of MMORPG, basically a game that is played in the web, where you can have a character and develop the skills of this character, do some quests, do missions, enter in a guild and such. Uh, and basically, this happen in the future. The series, I think it starts in 2020, 2023, I think. And basically there was a scientist and game designer called Kakibaya, that basically developed the system of kind of putting MMOPRG into a different level using kind of a virtual reality helmet. And when you put the helmet, you basically go, you are plunged into the game with your character, your avatar, and such. And basically, you kind of live uh, there, the, the life of your character. But this game comes with a twist. that basically the creator of the game, after I think it was around 6,000 players that started the game or more. And when they are kind of exploring the game initially, and we have the main character Kirito, that is a Japanese kid that is, I think he is in high school, and he's kind of, I will not say he's an ikikomori, but he's a very a person that likes to live in solitude and does not have many friends. Later on, near the end of the series, we also learn that he do not have, or he did not have a great relation with his younger sister, or a great connection with his family because he was kind of adopted and such. But basically, we have this main character Kirito that founds himself in the beginning of the game, and he founds another guy, a guy called Klein, that he will spend several times during the series, but not as a main character, and as a secondary character. And basically, since this guy Kirito was also kind of a beta tester of the version of the game, he belonged to a group. The beta testers usually are people scattered around the globe that are contracted or voluntary to test new games, new products before they were released into the market. So this guy kinda has a lot of knowledge about the game engine, the powers, the mechanics, and such. But when he met this guy Klein, and Klein asks for some help because he's a beginner and such, and when at some point Klein kind of tries to log out, he does not find a logout button. Later, in this is logging this is in the first second episode that is revealed that basically the game creator removed the feature of the players can log off the game or log out the game. They are not able to log out. So basically, these 6,000 or more players are basically trapped inside this game, and the only way for them to be released basically is to vanquish the final boss in the 100 uh, dungeon, that is the last one. And then this guy, the avatar of this guy, kind of appears and he kind of explains the rules, and he also explains that basically all the players in game, if they die in the game, they will die in real life, because the gear that they are using, the helmet of the virtual reality, kind of has some feature that basically fries the brain of the user when the user dies into the game. Or putting it bluntly, if you die in the game, during the game, you die in real life. And he also warns that even if someone tries to remove the helmets forcibly, they will become comatose and will become vegetables, never awaken again. So this is kind of the setup, the initial setup for the series, and then we have this guy kind of trying to cope with this reality, and through all the series, he met other players, other characters, and eventually he met a female character called Azuna at the early stages in the game, and they do one mission together. And eventually, we learn later on during the series that at the in the meantime, 2 years pass by, and Basically, he eventually this guy Kirito kind of joins. He joins initially. He joins a small guild. Then the guild is wiped out. He becomes a very traumatized person at that time. Then from then on, he decides to become or to play as a solo player and develop his character, his skill, his levels, and such. And eventually, he ends up becoming part of a group established by several guilds that intended to clear the game with the goal to release all the players trapped inside from the control of the game creator. Uh, then the relation between these two characters, Kirito and Azuna, develops and develops a lot. And besides the action scenes, the fighting scenes, the plots or the subplots, because there are subplots inside the game and the quests and the missions, we basically have the two characters, this guy Kirito and this girl Asuna, that they gradually know each other. They kind of fall in love. Basically, it's a romantic story, setting up or setting set up in a world of virtual reality in a way, but at the same time with a lot of action and also mysteries and such. So it was a series that honestly for me, it was a series that honestly I became addicted to the series and a huge fan of the series without a doubt. Probably I will try to read something about the light novels in the net or try to download them because I do become a huge fan of Sword Art online. Then eventually this guy Kirito kind of beats the game creator, and eventually we have a kind of a second stage into the anime that is happened in another different game and with another different, let's say, final boss that is very disturbing, putting it in gentle terms. It's a very disturbing character. And eventually he is able to free Azuna because after he vanquished the game master of Sword Art Online, he is the only one uh, that returns being a winner. All the other players that are still alive at the time he beats the game creator, they are kind of auto they are immediately locked out of the game because the game is conquered. The game is he won the game. But this girl Azuna kind of gave up her life to save him in the final battle, and her and other characters that died in the game. Then we later learned that this other guy kind of hacked the system, and then he kind of transferred their brains and their data to another different game to do some tests with the brain waves and such. Besides his obsession with this girl, Azuna, his disturbing obsession with this girl. So eventually, Kirito, now living in the real world, kind of learns about this game and he enters the game, and eventually is able to free Azuna from the slumber, and she became lives again, and they kind of become a couple. Like they were in Sword Art Online, because eventually they kind of got married and began to live as a couple. So it was a very interesting and emotion a story that adds emotion and romance into it. So I do enjoy a lot Sword Art Online, and like I did say, I do become addicted and a huge fan of the series. This probably I will not gave no I will give also a 10 of 10 because the series was fantastic. I do not know the plot or the story of the light novels. I already read some stuff in forums and other sites about the game, but I'm actually interested in trying to either acquire, download, or read the light novels in the near future. Because I do feel that there are a lot other aspects, details of the story that were not addressed um, in the series, but I guess that kind of makes sense because they could not address all, or they consider that they are not so interesting to be putting that into the anime, maybe. But I do want to read the light novels because I do want to have a more complete view of all the Sword Art Online franchise and story. So that's it. These are kind of my final impressions and thoughts on Sword Art Online. Hope you enjoy. Stay well, and this is another series that I highly recommend that for you to watch because I'm certain that you will enjoy the series a lot. So stay well, peace, and see you soon.